Right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market session of May 4th. I'm going to get started and go over the overall market, the news, the events, and also the tickers that are on watch for the day. All right, starting from the overall market here. On the geopolitical side, we had a couple of news that pushed the price of oil a little bit higher again. It's bouncing back down actually right now. But overall, what happened was the US-Iran tension kind of escalated again. There was a conflicting report about attacks near Strait of Hormuz, and market is reacting to the headlines. Finally, US said there weren't any kind of attack from Iran to the US ships in Strait of Hormuz, and as a result, we're seeing the market is basically pushing the price of oil back down. It went up all the way up to $134, and it's bouncing back down. So the market is heavily again reacting to the geopolitical news, and we can see the reaction on oil side. That would be the main news for basically for the day. And the market, on the other hand, SPY is relatively holding strong at all-time high. So what happened here on S&P 500? We broke 715.16 resistance and clearly held above it, very strong. And on Friday, we were basically consolidating most of the day on S&P 500. And then finally in the pre-market, we're seeing this beautiful breakdown, retest of this 515.16 area, and the price pushed back up all the way higher. So this is a very, very clean price action, textbook price action so far on SPY. This is what we have been seeing, and the triangle or like bull flag is like forming right above this previous area that we couldn't basically break for a while. Okay, and we hit this zone on April 24th, 27th, 29th, and then on 30th we rejected, finally broke, and now we're retesting the same area. So the key areas on watch would be this 722 level on SPY for a possible break and a retest of all-time highs. Another scenario is basically a reject of these areas. The demand would be 715.16 level. And in case of breaking this zone, we can see SPY hitting 712 and then around this 708. Now, if we consolidate here, if we stay between 722 and 716, which is also very possible with this massive move on S&P 500, and just like some consolidation might happen, especially because of some geopolitical news that we're hearing, that there is a possibility of like intentions. The geopolitical tensions kind of raising, and the possible continuation of the war. The market may react to that and consolidate. Okay, I'm not saying it will sell off heavily, because it technically didn't that much, but we might consolidate. So don't start the month with the expectation of just like having a massive rally, and if you took some of these moves, you want to just repeat it, or if you didn't, you have FOMO. You stop thinking about all the possibilities that you could have, all the money you could make in the last few weeks, or basically in the whole month of April. This is a totally new month, and the price action may be different. The market reaction to the news may be different. So start the month fresh, try to understand the price action and just trade the levels instead of trading, I don't know, opinions or the news, or just trying to catch the moves that you didn't or couldn't last a few weeks or months. Okay, so it's a totally new month. Again, respect the price action and the levels and just stick to that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out Qs here. Qs actually is holding a lot stronger than SPY in my opinion. We had this higher high, higher lows, finally broke above this 665, 666 previous resistance, pushed all the way back up higher. On hourly chart, you can see that we're technically bouncing above the Thursdays after hour, or basically Thursday's close almost, right after our close area. So around this 669, 670 zone, and we are bouncing above 670. We had a massive consolidation on Qs as well on Friday, which ended up being here, the price holding this zone of 675.6, and now we're just like consolidating in the same exact range. If you see, technically we're just holding this whole zone very well in the last few basically marketing hours. So this 676 resistance on watch. Clearly we rejected this zone a lot, actually 1 2 3 4 5 6 times, and this 670 demand zone also on watch. If we lose this zone, we might retest 666, 667. So that is also a possibility. Just have a basically clear vision of like where the zones are. That can help you to just avoid unnecessary trades. So if the price drops, get below, let's say 660, 670, 669.5, it's okay if you want to go short, but you need to understand that you are trading against this massive uptrend, and there is a massive demand zone right at this 665, 666 zone. Okay, again, it's not like you shouldn't trade. You can do whatever you want to do, but understand the reward to risk ratio, understand the levels, and that can help you to basically trade with a clear understanding of basically the higher time frame and smaller time frame instead of just zooming into your smaller time frame. With that being said, the key demand zones would be 670, and then we have 666 and 7 on Qs. All-time high obviously is the key resistance on the Qs. Dow Jones actually bounced back down pretty heavily. Now this is this 490.91 has been acting as a massive demand zone all the way till this like even 485.6. So as long as we're holding right above this area, we're still, I think, good for Dow Jones. I don't have the levels on Dow Jones because I don't really trade it actively, but I have this clear understanding of like this whole 686 all the way up till this 486 all the way up till this 490 is a key zone that has been holding. I mean, if I just said it, you'll see it in a second. That has been holding pretty well on Dow Jones, right? So if we do hold this whole zone, there is a possibility of bouncing and hitting above this 500 level, approaching all-time highs. We'll see if that happens or not. SMH holding pretty strong. There's nothing to say really about SMH here. We are at all-time high. The pre-market, or basically the after-hour price action here, went above 509 in April 27th. Yeah, and now we're holding above this zone of 509, 510 as well, and kind of forming this the breakout and retest price action so far. We'll see if that holds, but if it does, if we hold above 510, there is high chance of continuation on SMH. Okay, so keep that on watch as well. A couple of other news. Berkshire Hathaway beat at earning, and it has around like 400 billion in cash. So that's a massive position. And coin actually is moving a little bit higher. Talking about a couple of stocks because of some regulatory progress. There is something called Clarity Act, I guess, and because of that, the price is bouncing back up, getting above the moving averages, and it's looking slightly strong here. I would say we have been uh, holding below this 194 resistance. We finally broke above it, and now we're retesting on this zone. So if the price bounce back up, break above 201, 205 zone, there is a possibility of a strong move on coin. That is a possibility, but because the earnings report that is going to be in like 2 days, I wouldn't personally heavily trade coin. The option contracts might be a little bit expensive, but the price action looks pretty solid. So probably maybe today and tomorrow could trade it, and just like wait for earning report to come out, and then trade coin maybe next week or on Friday. So that would be a plan probably on coin. But if I see some sort of massive push all the way higher, hitting this 205 and holding around those areas, possibly that can be a great momentum setup. And yeah, depending on that, might focus on coin. And the key areas I would be watching is obviously this pre-market level of 201 all the way up till this 205. We break it, hold it, that would be a pretty interesting setup. The reason I'm looking at coin only for long is because of the catalyst, and also the fact that we are bouncing above the moving averages for now. We obviously have this resistance of 214.15 on top of it. GameStop is there is a takeover news that GameStop wants to, I guess, buy eBay. eBay is moving higher. GME is weak. And that's about the micro news and the stocks news. With that being said, let's talk about a couple of mega cap names. Apple earnings gapped up, holding the same 277.76 area that I mentioned the last few days. We're still holding there. Not the cleanest price action, like on hourly chart, especially like with this whole massive spike and then consolidation, and then couldn't really hold above 285, rejected and pushed back down. So not the cleanest price action, but especially on daily chart as well, right? So we're just seeing a rejection here. The reaction is mainly rejecting all-time highs, but still, I think as long as we hold above this 275, 276 zone on Apple, there is high chance of like maybe consolidating here for a while and breaking all-time highs. We'll see if it's going to happen or not. So I don't have a massive like game plan at this moment. Obviously, this is a demand zone. A possible bounce above 280.81 would be interesting to watch, but at the same time, you want to be very careful considering the fact that we just rejected this whole zone heavily on Friday. That might be a massive supply zone. So with that being said, above 280.5, 281 would be interesting to watch for a retest of like maybe 284.5, and then all-time highs around 290. Tesla actually looks super good right now. As you see here, and as I mentioned in the last few days, after the earning, Tesla pushed back down, went below this 382.3 zone, and it was just holding in this structure. The resistance was around this 280, 385, the demand around 366, 367, and the price was just like holding in this range, rejecting, bouncing back up, rejecting, bouncing back up, rejecting, bouncing back up, rejecting, and then finally it broke out of this 385 resistance on Friday right after like 12 p.m. or like 1 p.m. and around 11:30 a.m. I guess. And finally I actually caught a piece of it. It's bounced back down, and in the pre-market we're seeing this great hold right above 386.7, like right above it. Like it rejected it multiple times, now it bounced above it. This is like textbook, right? So Tesla definitely on watch for a possible breakout of this, maybe 392.3. Let's see how it reacts to these areas, and then we can potentially at least see this 370, 398, and finally the 200 SMA is around 403, 404. So we'll see how that works. I guess, yeah, Tesla could be interesting name to watch. We have another resistance area of like 410 all the way till this 415 as well. That is also a big one. So we're far from there, but definitely Tesla on watch. If it breaks below this 390, 385, 384 level and just sell off all the way back down, yeah, I'm not saying I'm not interested, but it's just like not the best A+ setup that I'm looking at or looking for, right? It might break below this 381, 2, and then have a good sell-off and a retest of this 365, 7. 365, 366, 367 ish area. That could happen, but the main play that I'm watching would be bouncing above this area and pushing all the way higher. NVIDIA, I want NVIDIA out of this white box. This was a big fake move here. We hit all-time high and just like rejected massively and went back down to the same choppy zone that we were previously. And if you remember, I had this zone, I just dragged it, and now we are again in this zone again. So not that interesting. All right, not that interesting. Definitely will not trade NVIDIA at all until it's in this range. If it breaks below this area, might give us some excuse me, some short setups all the way back down, maybe till like 185. We'll see, but I need it above this 204.5. Google, Google is just like wild, right? So we are really overextended on paper and on like price action side only if you check it out, but the momentum is super strong. So I'm not gonna be biased on like long or short specifically on Google, but I will have all this level of the obvious 388 all-time high and 378, 79 on watch. And you can see the price action was super clean. We rejected this 379, pushed back down, and then broke, retested this zone, bounced back up. So pretty clear zones, very clean, very clear zones. So the only thing you want to do is just like waiting for the price to react to these areas, to these zones of like 388 or 378 ish level. In the middle, I won't be really interested in trading Google, especially in this really tight range. AMD has earning in a day, or yeah, tomorrow, right? So not gonna trade it probably because of the earning. But obviously the key demand zone would be this 355 and the obvious all-time high of 365, 366. We break below this zone, the next demand zone would be around this 345 on AMD. Meta rejected 620 pretty well, bounced above 600. So the two key areas definitely would be 620 and 600. 600 is a massive demand zone. We couldn't hit 599.99 on Thursday. Buyers held 600 very well. I was watching the tape at the time, and there is a massive demand zone around 600. We break it. this thing can just give us some great short opportunities, but if we break it, we'll see if that happens or not. So we'll be watching 600 level, and also we'll be watching 620 for a possible gap fill setup, right? We have a massive gap from 620 all the way up to almost 70, right? So that's a lot of gap, and that could also be an interesting opportunity. For now, the sentiment is still weak, bearish, so we'll be watching these areas of obviously 620 and around 600. Just setting alerts there. Whenever it hit, we'll watch it. Microsoft, I don't really like Microsoft's price action, honestly, at this point as well. It's just like too choppy right now. Want it above or out of this 430 range, or potentially if we break below 410, maybe reject these areas. This could have been a pretty interesting breakdown of this zone, retesting, and then continuation of the sell-off. That could also be a good setup depending on the price action around like 411, 410. I would be watching possibly Microsoft as well, but yeah, I wouldn't be like super interested in Microsoft, I would say. PLTR has earning today. It's actually today. I don't know why TradingView shows it like this, but it's today after market close. So PLTR definitely on watch for tomorrow. MU, wow, it's wild. MU is at all-time high, gapped up. So definitely on watch above this 560.62, and it bounced above Friday's high as well. So pretty interesting price action, very, very solid setup. And yeah, it's just clear. Like there isn't anything for me to say here, just the clear levels of 562 and 545 would be the demand zone. So yeah, MU and watch. If you just chop around here, which it is possible after this continuation and gap up, just be careful and avoid trading during this chop zone. And Amazon, finally, I guess Amazon is looking good. I like how Amazon is still holding this zone. So I will be watching Amazon. I will be just patient and just wait for Amazon's price action to just either bounce above these areas, break out of this triangle, and push all the way higher. We are very close to this new all-time high. We are holding right above the previous all-time high. And I guess after this massive move and the earning, we need some like a few days of consultation. So we'll wait for that. And definitely right above this area would be another alert for me. Around this 272, 273 for a possible pushback up higher. It is still consolidating, nothing clear yet. I won't be trying to just like guess the move. I will wait for the price action to confirm, and then I will go for it. Right? Awesome. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and trade live with the team. If you want to join us, you can check out the link in the description and join us and trade live with us. 7 days on us, 7-day free trial. You can just join, trade live, and learn from our education. See you guys in the next video.